You're listening to a Big Finish production.
Welcome back to another Doctor Who Big Finish audio drama review. However, today it's going to be in a slightly different format to usual as I take a look at a Big Finish audio drama, however on vinyl. So we kind of have the two series I'm currently running on this channel, the new vinyl review series and the standard Big Finish audio drama review series. I'm going to be bringing them together to take a look at this wonderful release of Energy of the Daleks, which is exclusive to certain select Sainsburys stores that just so happen to stock vinyls, and it's limited edition to 1,500. So chances are, if you don't have this in your collection already, it was released around 2 weeks ago, so yeah, it's probably sold out by now because the majority of stores got around 2 or 3 in. So if you would like to buy this release, then chances are you will need to buy it off somewhere like eBay or something like that, third-party retailers. But if you are interested by what I say in this review, considering that this is going to be kind of an audio drama format review as per usual as well, then it is also available on the Big Finish website in your standard CD format. As I say, it was released originally back in 2012. The physical CD is £10.99 and the download is £8.99, and as per usual, the link will be in the description below if you're interested by what I say about this episode in this review. I was in fact rather excited to see the Big Finish were moving to vinyl because of course 2 years ago or so we got the Chimes of Midnight and Spare Parts on vinyl, and it was quite a big release. I think they're around £80 because they're in this rather nice sort of corrugated cardboard release, and this is sort of one of those ones that is just your standard cardboard sleeve. I will in fact be doing a product review of this in a second to kind of take a look at the actual vinyl and the sleeve art and everything like that, but I'm really happy to see that Big Finish are moving to the more mainstream vinyl because this is kind of a flagship for newer listeners to go and actually jump on board with Big Finish. And yeah, we do of course have the new logo on there as well. I must admit this is a rather unusual release to start on because from what I can see, the only major selling point for this one is it has the Daleks in, it has Tom Baker in, and it is written by Nicholas Briggs, as all three things are stated on the very front of the vinyl here. And yeah, I think that's the only main thing about this story that actually makes it special. Other than that, it's just your other Doctor Who audio drama with the Daleks in. But yeah, I think that the main reason why they've chosen the Fourth Doctor era is because he's an iconic Doctor, and more importantly, this is a 1 hour story because of course vinyls work in the way where you have around half an hour to 25 minutes on one side and then you turn it over to have the other 25 minutes to half an hour on the other side. So yeah, it does perfectly sort of work for a 1 hour audio drama, and is the main reason why probably they haven't chain released in sort of massive stores more iconic stories such as Spare Parts, the Holy Terror Jubilee, because that would of course need a much bigger release. Firstly, I'd just like to start this review also by I am a little bit tired today because I am currently revising for my A-levels. As you can probably tell, I just look a little bit dead at the minute. So yeah, I thought I would try and film this video to kind of break up the revision, and yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing this video because I am a little bit tired as it is, but hopefully it'll go okay, and then I'll end up going back to revision almost immediately, and then I can cry in a hole whilst drinking tea. So yeah, fun. So to start off this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the actual vinyl itself, as per usual with the vinyl videos, in a kind of product review style of format. Firstly, taking a look at the actual physical vinyl product itself. Now, I do love actually being able to start a Big Finish review, being able to take a look at our actual physical item, because yes, having an MP3 format is more convenient, it doesn't waste space. However, I do like on occasions actually being able to have a physical Big Finish release, because I think that it's kind of my way of saying that I really enjoyed the story, or really sort of want it to be a part of the collection by having it physically being able to sit there on the shelf. It's like the way of being able to have a novelty of being able to listen to a Big Finish audio drama in the vinyl format. It's a nice experience. It's something you get from being able to buy vinyls and then being able to sit back and listen to this release. There is something that is nothing like being able to listen to it on, say, headphones or via the Big Finish app. It's just a completely different experience entirely, which I think is why I like vinyls a little bit more than CDs. I think it's just something a little bit special, and you get something a little bit more for your money as well. So taking a look at the actual design of the vinyl, there's nothing really anything different from your standard singular vinyl releases. So as you can see at the bottom, we get Energy of the Daleks by Nicholas Briggs, featuring Mark Benton, with Nicholas Briggs as the Daleks, with Big Finish, We Love Stories, of course, at the very bottom. And then the actual cover art itself is exactly the same to the original 2012 CD release. So we just have the Fourth Doctor, Leela, and a rather nice graphic there of a Dalek with metal grey, looking rather nice and snazzy, with sort of a bit of a shine or glimmer coming across the front there, which is rather nice. And then we have a Starfield in the background, along with this kind of circular design, making it once again look like the moon, which is rather nice and similar simplistic. And of course, at the very top, we do get a full cast audio drama starring Tom Baker and Louise Jameson on the BBC logo, and the Doctor Who logo at the very top as well, which, considering that this channel is very much focused around Doctor Who merchandise, this is a first for the channel because we have the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who logo along the very top, which I'm not really going to go into that in this video and what I think about the logo, because I do quite like it. And I think that this is possibly one of the best examples so far of how it looks on an actual product. I think it definitely stands out. However, on certain other products, it doesn't have the same effect at all. So yeah, I will probably get onto that in another video at some point in the future. At the spine of the vinyl, do get Doctor Who Energy of the Daleks, and then the code at the very bottom there along with full cast audio drama. And of course, at the opposite side as well, we get Doctor Who Energy of the Daleks, the actual write-up about this story, the cast at the very bottom, the barcode, then we also have the handwritten number, mine of which being 404 out of 1,500. I love the fact that's actually been written on, as you may be able to recall from some other reviews that I've done in the past of limited edition products. It really gets to me when they say a product is a limited edition, but it doesn't actually state its unique identity number. And then we also have another image of the Dalek at the side there, along with a little bit about Big Finish and a little bit about the company, along with where you can follow them on social media, which if you haven't done that already, I definitely recommend doing so. So taking a look at the actual vinyl itself, for some reason it came out of the sleeve without the actual sleeve coming out with it. How convenient. But the actual thing itself, there you go. There's a sleeve. We've got some production notes on the back from Nicholas Briggs. And we get once again the Doctor Who logo along with some more production credits for this story at the front there. And the actual vinyl itself is rather snazzy and blue, so we get a rather nice colour for this, very much like the TARDIS, which is rather cool and convenient and relevant. And then we get, of course, Doctor Who Side A, which is part 1, and then on the opposite side, Side B, which is something worth mentioning if you're a vinyl collector that likes to keep them in the cellophane and not actually listen to them. I don't know, there's probably some people that like that out there. Here's the cellophane that this comes in. It has 2 stickers on, which is rather exciting, isn't it? Yes, I actually kept this for the review because I'm that sad. We actually have first time on vinyl there at the very front, along with a few limited edition details on their 180-gram heavyweight vinyl. And then we also have exclusive only at Sainsburys limited edition blue vinyl there as well, which I recommend keeping that if you're a sad person like me who likes collecting these things. So yeah, that's the actual vinyl itself. Overall very nice, and I definitely recommend picking it up if you actually have the opportunity to, as I imagine this is probably going to be quite rare in the future. That's the actual vinyl itself. Overall is very nice. I do love the way that they've got the blue vinyl in there. It is a really nice touch, and it's nothing really too special, especially when compared to the Record Store Day releases that actually have some brand new sleeve art on there. So I must say, in the future, if they are going to continue this series, which I very much think they will with certain releases, it would maybe be nice to see brand new cover art on the front, maybe done by Lee Binding or something like that, and to sort of represent the more iconic releases in there, just to make it look a little bit more visually interesting, because I especially think around the sides here, you can quite obviously tell that this release was meant to be for sort of a CD format as opposed to a much larger Record Store Day sleeve kind of format. So yeah, overall though, it still does look like a rather nice release. It's good for you collectors who like vinyls and like Doctor Who and just like collecting them, maybe not necessarily to listen to them, but yeah, if you have this story already in sort of your standard Big Finish CD or MP3, it might be worth considering this one if you're a Fourth Doctor fan. And that's really it for the vinyl itself. Other than that, this is pretty much now going to be your standard Big Finish audio drama video. So as I was saying earlier, this episode is written by Nicholas Briggs and it is also directed by Nicholas Briggs. And the Doctor is of course played by the iconic Tom Baker. We have Louise Jameson as Leela, Alex Lowe as Damien Stevens, and as well as the Robo-Men, Mark Benton as Jack Coulson. We also have Caroline Keff as Lydia Harding, Dan Starkey as Kevin Winston, and a few other people in there as well, and John Downing as the Robo-Men and Nicholas Briggs as the Daleks. And this story is in your standard sort of 1 hour format, as with the majority of Fourth Doctor adventures, which, as I was saying earlier, is convenient for the vinyl format, and is probably the main reason why I've decided to go with the Fourth Doctor for this release. And I must say, this story isn't exactly anything special. It's not a landmark in Doctor Who. It is essentially just Leela meets the Daleks, which is a rather exciting novelty, sort of having this tribal savage meet these massive alien creatures that are iconic throughout Doctor Who history, and they have naturally kind of this argument where Leela kind of doesn't realise who she's arguing with, and then this Dalek's just there having a go at her pretty much. So that is a rather tense scene. Of course you know that Leela's not going to die though, of course, because she's got a massive history when it comes to Doctor Who. And yeah, I think that this story is in fact a rather nice one to start on. If you're somebody that is coming from the perspective of Big Finish where you've not really listened to any stories before, then this is a really nice laid back story to kind of listen to. It's nothing too complex. Daleks. I imagine if you put something like Zagreus on vinyl, or even any of sort of Doom Coalition, it might be a little bit daunting. But I think that this release is a really nice example of something that is a laid-back Big Finish story with a rather sort of Dalek invasion, but kind of with a niche little twist behind it, because this episode is about the Daleks sort of taking over Earth via climate change and kind of their own energy, as it suggests in the title, kind of using sort of solar power and certain ways to generate energy on Earth and kind of to amplify that, and then to sort of kick away the moon, and then the orbit of the Earth will go insane pretty much and kill absolutely everybody, and as a result the whole human race will die, as per usual, the aim always with the Daleks, and as always as well the Doctor does of course conquer that situation at the end. And I must feel that this story is one of those ones where you feel it's the Daleks come in, the Doctor goes, oh no, it's the Daleks, and then sort of defeats them almost immediately, because that is what you expect really from Dalek stories, especially with the Fourth Doctor era. I think that every time the Fourth Doctor meets the Daleks, it has a comedic aspect behind it, because especially in such episodes as, say, Destiny of the Daleks, you have the Doctor pushing around Davros almost like he's in a wheelchair, and then you have him sort of saying, oh, you can't get up these stairs or anything like that, or that ventilation shaft in the story as well. So yeah, I do feel that the Fourth Doctor has a rather fun relationship with the Daleks, but at the same time it's nothing too serious. It's kind of just a nice little romp, which I do quite like. The Fourth Doctor for this story is also really fun. I find that he has some really nice moments. You feel like he's a Doctor that can just bound into any situation and kind of be happy, because he goes to Earth with Leela. I think he wanted to go to 2015, however the TARDIS lands him in 2025, so you get introduced to this rather futuristic style of London that has kind of smart screens everywhere, and news can kind of be broadcasted wherever you want, which is kind of quite representative of what we have today on our phones. So a good prediction from Nicholas Briggs there from 2012 Doctor Who era, to kind of foreshadow the future. But I think that it's a rather interesting story to have that futuristic side of London, and if anything I would have maybe liked a little bit more of that, some of which was a little bit hard to believe, because you have this company, Globesphere, that has basically taken over the National Gallery, which is of course that big massive gallery in Trafalgar Square, which I found that a little bit hard to believe. I must admit, even for Doctor Who standards, I think this like massive historical value building that has been there for decades kind of has been sort of taken over by an institute or company. I found that a little bit unusual. It's nice to see the Robomen in there as well, I must admit. I don't think that I've really listened to any other Big Finish audio drama where the Robomen have actually been quite a big part of the story, because this episode is basically around a fraction of Daleks. I believe there's around 8 of them or something like that, and then the rest of the people that are being used by this company are in fact Robomen that are of course powered by the Daleks. So it's nice to see that they're kind of using certain elements of their past to kind of still gain power, and it would be nice to maybe see a little bit more about them. And at the very end of the story, this episode does result in kind of them using human emotions to kind of override the Dalek power, which I don't quite know if I liked. I felt it was a little bit new series, kind of overpowering the Daleks with love or the power of friendship or something like that. But I think that this story was definitely a little bit more contained in that. It was more logical than, say, such episodes as the new series Closing Time, where it essentially did use love to kind of conquer the Cybermen, which was just a little bit cringe. But I think that this story kind of has a way of getting around that and kind of saying, yeah, this is what we're going to do, but kind of make it logical at the same time. So yeah, I kind of respected that. It didn't go beyond that boundary. But Fourth Doctor and Leela are separated for this story as well throughout sort of the first half, and Leela is taken off to be interrogated by the Daleks as they find out that she has that chronon particle or whatever it's called that you get from travelling in the time vortex, and they realise that she's kind of in league with the Doctor, and they get a little bit stressed by that naturally because they're Daleks, and they get a little bit angry and they want to find out where he is. And the Doctor throughout the story in fact gets a new companion who is basically the same guy who plays Clive Finch. I was taking a look at the Target novelisation of Rose, and I was saying about how much I liked Clive's character in that story. So a very Clive central month recently of taking a look at Doctor Who media. But yeah, I think that his character was really nice. I think that he was quite comedic, but at the same time you kind of got used to his backstory, the idea that he was in Durham University and he set up this company to kind of give everybody in the world power, because one of the people that he works with, mothers, had been sort of killed by the fact that she didn't have power to kind of survive and didn't have the energy to kind of maintain her own life, which I thought that was a rather nice backstory to have. I kind of felt like I got just enough to kind of care about his character and kind of support the story and the script behind that, and the way that at the very end of the episode as well, it kind of made more sense of that emotional sort of Roboman takeover thing that I was mentioning a little bit earlier. So yeah, I did quite like that. Yeah, I find that this story, as I say, is just quite a nice laid laid back one. It doesn't exactly do anything too extravagant, but at the same time, it's kind of just a nice Fourth Doctor meets the Daleks story once again, and then Leela also meets the Daleks for the first ever time as well, which, if you think about it, is in fact quite a pivotal moment in Leela's history, bearing in mind this is the first ever time she meets the Daleks, and in the future she's going to be taking part in the Time War and many other things, meaning that she's going to be very much familiar with the Daleks in the future. But yeah, this is kind of her first encounter, which overall for the scripting and narrative for this story, I do think that it is in fact a rather nice listen. I think that it's a rather good one for new listeners as well. However, if you're somebody that's experienced when it comes to Big Finish and kind of expect a little bit more, then for me this story just didn't push that boundary, especially with it being written by Nicholas Briggs, who did a very good job at voicing the Daleks. By the way, I nearly forgot to mention him, but yeah, he did a very good job. I think we had a really nice varied kind of theme of classic Dalek voices, ranging from your powerful Daleks, the worried sort of more timid Daleks in there. So yeah, a rather nice variety, which sounded incredibly good on vinyl. I had this cranked up, and yeah, the Dalek voices were echoing around my room, along with the Fourth Doctor's kind of bellowing, going ha-ha all the time, you know, so that was rather fun. If you have a vinyl player and you buy this release, then you do definitely get a rather nice experience from listening to this episode of vinyl. And the soundtrack as well also stood out quite a lot. It was definitely a different experience to listening to an audio drama story through headphones, which I thought was rather interesting. So at the same time, I just expected from the leader of Big Finish, kind of than the main producer, just a little bit more, for it to be a little bit more experimental, which I suppose we may have had if this was a slightly longer in running time story. I just felt it was a bit rushed in certain parts, especially towards the very early half of the story. It's kind of a nice opportunity that could have been delved into a little bit more. Why did the Daleks want to kind of do this big plan to take over Earth and kind of kill absolutely everybody, where they could just do it in a little bit more of a deadly manner, as they were planning to do in the Time War or something like that? It seems a little bit kind of, we're going to go this complex way for the Daleks, kind of. We could just have the straight up, let's kill everybody by using massive weapons, but we kind of have this niche sort of invasion plan of taking over the world through climate change and energy control, which I find rather odd for the Daleks. But at the same time, it is a rather intriguing Doctor Who listen that I guess isn't like other Dalek stories that I've listened to in the past. It's kind of, in that respect, a little bit like Order of the Daleks. So you've got that Sixth Doctor story where you had the Daleks kind of scavenging on certain materials that you could find, and you literally had the Daleks made out of church windows, which was a rather unique story in itself also. Yes, yeah, this is a rather interesting one to go to a new level for the Daleks, but as I say, maybe failed to push that boat out a little bit further and give me kind of the experimental material that I wanted. Overall, do I recommend Energy of the Daleks on vinyl? If you have a vinyl player, if you collect vinyls, if you like Doctor Who, the simple answer is yes, because it's only £18, and if you can actually find this for £18, then it's worth adding to your collection, because as I say, this is limited to 1,500, and you get a little handwritten label on the back and everything, which I do quite like. But I think that this is a nice inclusion to your collection. If you're a Big Finish fan as well, and you have this story already in an MP3 format, if you're a Fourth Doctor fan, then this is possibly a story for you, but at the same time, it might be worth missing out on if you already have the story in CD format, because you've already listened to it before. So kind of half of the money worth of buying it is kind of already gone. At the same time, I may also be heading in that boat in the future, because I do know the second release from this line is Infamy of Zaros. It is going to be limited edition to HMV stores. I do believe it's limited edition to, I think, 750 or something like that, and you probably already know that last year I reviewed that, and I already have it in physical format in the actual 10th Doctor limited edition book. See, I don't really know if I want that story or not. It does have a rather nice yellow vinyl, which is rather fun, but yeah, I guess I just need to make my mind up about if I want that release. But that said, in itself, I don't know if I'm going to review it either, because as I say, I've already reviewed the release in the actual episode review format anyway, so meaning it would kind of only be a product review kind of format to take a look at the vinyls. So yeah, I don't know. If I do buy the release, I'll probably stick it on my social media, and maybe I'll decide from there if I want to review it. I don't particularly know, but yeah, I think that generally for this one, it's a nice thing, and I'm glad this sold as much as it did, regardless of the quality of the story. I'm glad that it had quite a lot of popularity behind it, because I feel that if this does have more popularity behind it, then we'll get more Big Finish vinyls in the future, and possibly double LPs of stories such as, say, the Holy Terror, and the more iconic ones such as Jubilee, and I would love that. Maybe have sort of £35 vinyls or something. It's just a case of where they are limited to, because I do know that quite a lot of people actually struggle to find this one. So I hope you did find it if you were wanting to buy buy it, but at the same time, check out eBay if you don't actually have this release and you did want it. Yeah, that's really it for this review. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed kind of this blend between Big Finish and vinyls. It's rather exciting and convenient considering that I've only just started doing vinyl reviews this year, and it's almost like they've been watching my reviews and seeing that I bought a vinyl player and said, I'm going to get a few occasional Doctor Who vinyls, but I want to kind of go into another non-Doctor Who related hobby, and it turns out that I've now got a vinyl collection that the vast majority of it is Doctor Who vinyls. Yeah, I may need to do something about that in the future and get some more standard music that I enjoy, maybe just to add a little bit more of that to the collection as opposed to just vinyl releases, because it is forever increasing the amount that I have now, which is a little bit daunting at the same time. So hey, I've just started collecting another area of Doctor Who merchandise completely unintentionally. Thanks, Big Finish, you've really not helped that whatsoever. So yeah, that's that for this review. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions about this release or this vinyl, then please do leave them in the description below and we'll reply to them at some point in the near future. I guess I'll see you all in another Doctor Who Big Finish audio drama review in the future, be it from the standard CD format of the upcoming releases, or say the monthly range, or the upcoming 8th Doctor adventures, or whatever else is on the way soon. I did also review Jay Gunn Lightfoot Forever recently, which I recommend checking out that review if you haven't already, considering it is the final ever episode of Jay Gunn Lightfoot, and it made me very, very emotional, so yeah, check that out, as I say, if you haven't already. So that's that for this review. I guess I'll see you all in another Doctor Who review at some point in the near future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.